There we are.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'm here with Robin. FF in the house. And Robin is getting ready to publish her third book.
Yep.
Thank you very much. What is the book about? I didn't ask that.
It's facilitating virtual events.
Stop, really?
Yes. I was like, okay, well, I'm a professional speaker, and I'm thinking, okay, well, live conferences aren't going to come back anytime soon. So, all right, what can I do that is relevant for right now that's within that skill set? Because I love being a professional speaker. So wait a second, I know how to moderate and facilitate. Like, that's definitely in my skill set. I have trained doing that. I know how to do that well. So I just decided to, push out a book. And I've spent the past couple of months writing it. I'm just in the final, finishing touches. And yeah, hopefully it'll get out soon.
I love that you say you push it out. It's like giving birth, because writing a book and publishing it is that, right?
It gets easier with each one. The first one was terrifying, and I was not an expert writer yet. This was 6-7 years ago when I first envisioned that first book, and it was torture. I'd sit down and I'd be like, I don't know what to do, because it's not something that you normally, you're not born knowing this. It's a skill. And so I brought on the right experts, and I did the right research, and I found the right mentors and got that book done. And then the second one was a breeze. And now this third one, I'm like, I don't even need anyone to help me. I'm bringing on a formatter for a couple $100 at the end, and a book designer for the cover, because I don't know how to design. And that's it. It's been 10 times easier than even the second one.
My God. That's been kind of a theme in a way for this entire summit. It's like, just do something, just try it. And then
start.
Yeah.
We all are beginners. We are all beginners at something always. I did not become a professional writer by not writing. You need to do it. It's a skill.
Yeah, this whole idea that I see in a lot of us where it's, I've got to get ready to be ready. No.
I tell that to a lot of my coaching clients. So I coach a lot of people on how to become thought leaders or speakers. And they can be two different things. You just be a thought leader in your own area of expertise. And I tell them, bring me on at the very beginning. You just need one session, maybe 2 sessions with me, and I can give you a full roadmap to follow for the next 2 years. And they're like, well, I'm not ready because I don't really know what I exactly want to do. I go, that's my job. Why should you? I mean, you're too close to it. It's like when I first wrote my first real professional bio that I knew was going to go out on conference websites and all of that, I hired a company to write it for me. I was too close to the information to be able to tell the story in a way that would both present me correctly, but also writing a bio is a skill. Even for someone who knows how to write, writing a bio is a very different thing. And so I brought on someone to help me. I'm like, that's all you're doing at the beginning of your journey. When you're not even sure what you want to talk about or what you should be doing, it's the experts that can give you insight into your own career. That can make all the difference. Half an hour to 2 hours, and literally it can change your life.
Oh, that sounds so great. I want to go hire somebody to write my bio because I decided that I wanted to be the very last person interviewed for the summit. And so I had one of our fellow experts interview me, and she was saying things about what I've done and who I am and what has shown throughout this that I was like,
Yep. Because outsiders can see things that you don't, even though you did them. But they'll be like, wait, that's actually interesting. And you're like, it is?
Yeah.
Actually, those of us who haven't done it our whole career, that, saying that, X or Y is really interesting for the outside audience. And that is a great word to use. And usually it freaks people out. They're like, oh, I didn't realize that was something people liked.
Yeah.
It takes an insider to point it out a lot of the time.
It's amazing. I need to take a quick second and say hi, Beth, because she's wished us good afternoon. So I said, hi, Beth.
Hi.
Girl. You coming to the thing tomorrow? Can I tell you about the thing tomorrow, the get together, the wrap up for the summit, Robin?
No, tell me about it.
Okay. So I thought I did. This is how my head has been for the last few days. It's been bad.
You probably have, but I do these kinds of interviews once or twice a week. And so there's like 3 conferences going on right now with pre-recorded videos with me. And so keeping everyone straight in my head, I need a spreadsheet, right? So you just have to tell me things again.
I hear you. Yeah. I've been trying to I've been struggling with a meeting tomorrow and a meeting on Thursday. I keep switching the time. I'm like, no. So tomorrow, what we're doing at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will send out another email to all of the experts. Or maybe it's the first email and I've lost my mind. That's entirely possible that I have lost my mind, but I will find it again. It's in here somewhere. And
that assumes you had one to start with.
It does, which is really saying something, because that was questionable. I've already been quarantined for a month when I started this. Good point, Robin. Thank you. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we're going to all come together. There's an event that I posted under events in the Facebook page, and we're going to all come together and talk about what were the gems that we got out of the speakers. Like what really changed for us. Give people a chance to meet any of the speakers who show up and ask them any questions, or just chit chat, and also really cement the fact that this will go on. I feel like Celine Dion when I say that. This will go on, like I should burst in.
You're ready for Vegas. Maybe not the stage, maybe the slot machines, but you're ready for Vegas.
Oh my God. I'm heartbroken.
Totally.
Oh my God. So I'm working on so many things right now. Just so many things, because the one thing that COVID has done is make us reach, right? And one of the things I'm reaching for is virtual speaking engagements. How do I do that? How do I look for virtual speaking engagements? Are they out there now on Google that way, or what?
No, absolutely not. And so finding speaking engagements, that's what my second book is all about, is the Thought Leader Formula. And it's step-by-step on really how to get in front of the right people who will hire you or bring you on as a speaker. And there's a very big difference between an amateur speaker and a professional speaker. And I actually talk about that in 2 of the books. But yeah, the best thing is to really understand who your customer is, what your content is, and how that directly relates to ROI for your customer, return on investment. Typically, if you want to be just speaking out there and involved with lots of conferences, get the word out, right? Start posting every day that you are speaking on this subject, post videos, start making connections with event teams, and actually target events. So find the events you want to be on stage and then apply. Most public-facing events where people can actually buy a ticket for anywhere for free to even $2,000 a ticket, those are not typically professional speakers. The events, nope. The only time you will bump into actual professional speakers typically are at corporate events. So a lot of them are internal or external, but for customers or for educating their employees. You see professional speakers at big association events. So like I've given talks at the Medical Group Management Association, which are all the business side of doctor practices. I've given or the American Academy of Dermatology, and that's 19,000 dermatologists. So at those events, those are professional speakers on the main stage. And big conventions sometimes will just pay for their main speakers. But most of the other speaking gigs out there that you see are not paid. So really understanding who pays for speakers, why they pay for speakers, and how they find those speakers, if in fact you want to be a professional speaker. Now, if you just want to get on lots of stages and have fun and tour the world, or, right now tour the world virtually, but when, live events come back, if you just want to be flown all over the world, I've now been booked in 14 countries. Yeah. And even when I'm giving free talks, because I'll do that sometimes, it's because they're flying me out to France or Greece or Germany or Japan or New Zealand. And a lot of the time it'll be first class and they'll give me a 5-star experience for a week. I'm like, that's worth my time.
Oh my God, yes.
But you know, those are typically not kind of, you know, if they don't find you through a speaker bureau, it's probably not going to be a paid event. But there's reasons to be a speaker at events that have nothing to do with cash coming into your, into your pocketbook.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You attract clients and that way, and you make connections, and right? Am I on the right track here? This is what I understand.
Yes. Not only that. So I break it down in the thought leader formula. So if you're an entrepreneur, it helps you get the word out on your company, to get investors, to walk in those doors, to get new customers, to get new employees, right? You've got to really get a brand out there. And so it's great for entrepreneurs. If you are just trying to drive customers like a normal corporation, you need to get your brand out there, right? I mean, there's so many reasons to go and speak at an event. Like my other day job is I do high-level business development, typically for technology companies in healthcare, but also in security. And so what I do is I find the investors or the partners or the customers or the clients. Like if someone needs to, MindMaze is one of the companies I work with. They are going to be distributing through hospitals. It's virtual reality for stroke and brain injury rehabilitation. I know all the hospitals. And I know all the hospitals because I am a professional speaker. And so I get on the stages where there are lots of audiences of doctors, hospital administrators, and things like that. And so I am a speaker in part because it really helps me do my day job of business development. Right? But it could be if you are in marketing, if you are looking for a new job, right? Or if you want to have higher negotiating power in your current job. So imagine you are a corporate employee and it's okay for you to give outside talks because some, corporations like Apple and Amazon are very strict. If you work for them, you are not going to be on stage anywhere. But for other corporations, there's millions of, small corporations that you could be part of that don't have those kinds of rules. And so the more high profile you are and known for your area of expertise in your brain, the more your bosses are going to hear about it. And that will give you greater negotiating power as well as could get you promoted. You're going to be recognized above your peers.
Well, let me ask you, this is fascinating. So I never ever thought of speaking as a way to get a job.
Yep. Every job I have ever had has come to me. Every single one of them. And it's because I am out there. There's two reasons. It's because I am out there and I'm putting out content and I've written books and I've given talks, but I'm also a giver. And when you are a giver in this life, it comes back to you in so many other ways. Maybe not directly from what you gave to, but it will come back around.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that because it's what I believe. And I'm also, I fall into struggling with that concept when things aren't working quite the way that makes me feel secure. Then I'm like, can I believe that? So I love hearing that. Oh my God. So this is fascinating to me because one thing that is becoming clear to me is as an entrepreneur building a brand, I cannot be at all limited in my thinking. I just can't. And I love that. That's why I was never happy in a corporate environment because I think really big. Yeah. And I just didn't I love when all this new stuff comes, like what you're saying is blowing my mind. I'm sort of going, tilt. So if I'm looking for a job, let's say I'm looking for a job in, I'm going to make something up. Let's say I'm looking for a job in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
I mean, that's not me, but anyway, I'm looking for a job in that. But my thought leader sort of thing is all about knitting. I don't know, something completely other than that. Is that going to help me or is it too far apart?
Something like that is too far apart. So that's what my system, or the thought leader formula, so it's a formula system, really takes you through is helps you identify those people you need to get in front of. So I take you through what's a customer avatar. So your perfect customer avatar, you should be able to, identify maybe their gender, their approximate age, where they live in the world, socioeconomic status, education, do they have kids? Are they a blended family? Like, really figuring out as much as you can, and then figuring out where those types of people live. Are they on TikTok? Are they on LinkedIn? Do they go to only in-person conferences? Where do they spend their intellectual time, right? Both on stage, in the real world, but also online. And then once you figure that out, because you really need to understand it's towards what your goal is. So if your goal is to get a promotion or get a job, a higher level job, and you already have one, you may be in a different company or in your same company, your audience are your bosses, bosses, and companies that are similar to yours, their management, as well as maybe HR companies, right? And so you don't care about going on to TikTok. CEO of your company is not going to be there, right? You don't care about getting 400,000 followers. You care about 20.
Right.
Maybe 100, right? So it's you at that point, you're a micro influencer. You're thinking about it like that's what they're calling those kinds of things on things like Instagram. But thinking about the fact that really to achieve your goal, which is your goal for being a thought leader, you really just need to reach these 100 people.
That's amazing.
Right, with my new book coming out, Facilitating Virtual Events, I don't need to reach everybody in the world. I need to reach the speaker bureaus and the event planners. That's it, right? They're not all over Facebook all the time. They're not, at every conference. There's one at each conference, but that's not like going to help me, right? So it's really having my network and being already affiliated with some of these speaker bureaus that can help me distribute that message, because my goal with that is to then be hired as a virtual event facilitator.
I love it. I was thinking about putting myself out there as somebody who can teach people how to be more personal in their summits, because I know a lot of people throw out the information and that's it. Like, okay, have a nice summit. No, that's not the way we should be going. We should be building community and relationships and
So that's like a step-by-step guide for people who are throwing these types of events, right? And even if it's 20 or 40 pages, you can turn it into a book and just have that be an ebook. And that one thing will change the equation for you.
So you put a high value on having a book, right? Because it shows
Yes, it's just a marketing trick at this point, because the same exact information, and I even give you a bunch of different hacks to get a book done quickly if you would like. You could hire a company like Scripted for $60 to $100 an article. They find people like Uber does, the same way they find a driver. Scripted finds you automatically an author. They come and they write a 500 to 1,000 word article, depending on what level you paid. As I said, $60 to $100. Maybe get 10 of those done. At the highest level, that's $1,000 worth of content that you just bought, 10 articles. Throw together a conclusion and an introduction. Each article is a chapter. Throw on a cover, acknowledgments, back of the book, throw it up on Amazon, and I am telling you that will change the game for you.
Oh my God.
Because it's all about packaging. People don't pay for content, they pay for packaging. And in the world still of this intellectual world, people still think writing a book is this insurmountable task. It's terrifying. Someone could go and write 40,000 words, which is actually longer than a typical business book right now, which is about only 30,000 words. And if you just put it between two covers that say book, it's going to be worth a significant more money or more value, not money, but value for you than just taking those same 40,000 words and putting them out as articles. Same content, different packaging, and it changes the perception.
And perception is everything. Wow. I'm going to have to spend the next hour putting my head back together. This is amazing. Scripted. Okay. I talked with a woman named Susie Pruden. I don't know if you know her, but she has a publishing company called the Itty Bitty Book Publishing Company.
Oh, I've heard that.
Have you heard of her? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a New Yorker transplanted to LA, and she's hilariously funny. And what she does is she helps people create books of 15 chapters that only have 2 pages in each chapter. Like the first page is like your thought, and then the second page is your bullet points that was all about. And she helps you publish your book, get it edited 3 times, and get it out there, and then boom, you're an expert.
Not only that, but I have a friend who is this brilliant neuroscientist, and he has a PR company, but he's not getting a lot of engagements to be on the news or whatever. I'm like, because he doesn't have a tool. A book is the excuse for people to interview you. If you write an article, it does not give someone an excuse to look you up, to bring you on all of these shows like you have me on right now and then the summit. And I'm doing those once or twice a week, every week for the past few years, right? And it's 100% because I have books. So they know there is something to interview me about.
And so they get that reflected glory.
Yep.
Look, she's a writer and we got her on our show.
But it just gives you an excuse. Like, if you're a physician, well, there are, hundreds of thousands of physicians.
Yeah.
In terms of the interview world, that's not going to give you an edge if they're looking for a doctor. But if I need a doctor, maybe I Google and I suddenly see this doctor who wrote this book. Oh, let's get that doctor. He has a book and we can ask him about that subject. It works for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. And so it just gives everyone an excuse to interview you.
Well, I know what I'll be working on. I mean, I wrote a book and self-published back in 2008. Then I wrote a book last year, which was about business. The first book was about spirituality and mental illness, actually. The one last year was about business and making it more human and less data-driven. But neither of those are the brand that I am.
Those aren't your brand, and it really needs to tie to your revenue stream because nobody makes money with books. Well, okay, 2% of people make money with books.
It's like actors. 2%.
Yes, very, very few, right? In fact, most people spend more money marketing. Like I have a friend who has had a number of New York Times bestsellers. He is spending $500,000 on marketing his new book.
Wait, what costs that much money? What is he spending? What does that spend on?
It does ads, appearances, flying places, sending the book out, thousands and thousands of them. You spend more money a lot of the time in marketing. Yeah. So, I mean, you're not going to make money on a book. You're making if you self-publish, you're making $3 to $5 if you're lucky on the book, depends on what your price is. If you go through a publisher, I did it for my second book. I'm not going to make that mistake again, probably. I would always go self-publishing. I don't think that publishers, unless it's one of the big 3, add a lot of value at this point. They don't understand their dinosaurs.
Right.
But if you go through a publisher, I think I make $2 or something per, so I make hundreds of dollars or thousands when I'm lucky, single digit thousands, right? Like you're not out there, books don't pay the rent. I call it shoe money.
I get it. Oh my God.
It's lead gen over $250,000 in speaker keynote fees for me directly, just in the past few years. And in addition, it's driven most of my opportunities where when I work for a company, I make a 6-figure salary. And so, I mean, I could look at this as my books has probably brought me in over $1 million.
Oh my
Only
God.
1,000 of that through book sales.
Yeah, you're not doing the book for the book sales. Got it. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Plus, I love to write. So that's actually a problem at one point, because if you love to write, don't you just get so absorbed in it that you're like, wait, I should have brought in those experts to write an article.
So that is a problem. So I started writing a book at one point with a co-author, and that's all she wanted to do was just the brainstorm, dump out that first pass of writing where you just get to write and write and write and write.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't do anything else. And so I fired her. I split the book in half to my content versus her content. We copyright, like I copyrighted mine, she copyrighted hers, and I said, sayonara. She didn't get her act together, right? Like to actually do anything but the fun, easy part, which is that initial brain jump where you just get to write and write and write. It's the editing, cleaning up, organizing, making it be a perfect story and tightening it up. Those are the tedious, hard parts. And she didn't want to do it. Said, I'm not.
That won't work. That won't work. Bye-bye.
I fired her. Yeah. I didn't call it firing. She got a phone call from me and she knew it was that. I just didn't, because I hadn't hired her, so I can't fire her technically, but I said, sayonara.
They don't teach, they teach that stuff in business school, do they? Like how to actually be a boss, like how to actually be a leader in a good way.
I don't know. I mean, I have a management degree and a finance degree, but I'm old. I don't know what they do now. This was in the dark ages, back in the 1900s,
Yes, we're both 120. Actually, if you're 120, I'd be like, what, 150? I don't know.
I'm just 29.
Okay. Then I'll claim, I think I'll stick with 49. I'll stick at 49 and just carry it on from there. I like it. This is fascinating. My God. Yeah, I think the one thing that I hope everybody is getting or going to get when they watch it later as well from this is just try, just do, just like get the landscape, understand what the game is so that you can decide whether you want to play it and play it your way.
And don't be scared to bring on experts. If you hire a coach, one session with one coach, another session with another coach, you will learn more in those hour-long sessions than if you had gone and gotten an MBA from Stanford, because these are experts who have done it. Like, so you see behind me, I have my blue wall. I can make it completely blue like that. I've got a bunch of lights in front of me. This kind of thing, and I'm in a room where this is no longer echoing well, and I've got this. That took me months to figure it out. I can tell it to you in 30 seconds what to do and all the different backgrounds you can buy and different places. And I can tell, in 30 seconds, and it's going to took me months to like a trial and error.
Oh yeah. You could watch me do the trial and error. If I had shown all of the interviews in the order that I taped them. Mm-hmm. First I was over there, then I was over here, then I was over there, then I was back here, then I was like, Yep.
If you just have someone tell you how they did it, and that takes seconds, it can save you months of work.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. And that's another big thing is reaching out and asking, just going, hey man, I don't know how to do this. Do you know how to do this? And you're like, yeah, I know how to do it. Or like I asked you earlier before we went on the air, what do you think about this and that? You're like, I think it's a terrible idea. I'm like, great, thank you. That means I
am very honest. I will always tell you straight out, don't do that, do that, whatever,
That is what I value.
Yeah.
I absolutely value that. And God, there are actually, I find too few women who are willing to just like step up and go, here's the real situation, okay?
Well, we're not taught to do that, right? A lot of because it's almost impolite. It feels negative feedback can feel insulting, even though the person giving negative feedback is not trying to most of the time be insulting. They are literally just trying to help you succeed because they care about you or they care about people and they just want to help see other people succeed. That's what a giver is, right? And so if they're, giving you that kind of negative feedback, it really is just because they want to raise you up.
I think it's important for me. One of the big things that I do is I like to define our terms because So what was it you just said about it feeling like an insult or
feedback can feel like insulting, right? Because, oh, wait a second, I'm not perfect. Well, of course you're not perfect, but you know, like
right.
No one wants to be told that, you know, they've got something on their face. It's embarrassing, even though it's better to know.
It's better to know. And I think one of the big things is that we think that the worst thing is to make somebody feel awkward. But really, the worst thing is to not tell people the truth with a compassionate heart. You know, you don't want to go, God, that dress sucks. I hate it. You know, you don't want to be like that. You know, you want to say, well, I think you look better in the other dress. I don't think that's the best one for you. But
that other dress is more professional or looks, it's better for this situation, right?
There are ways to work around it where you're still being honest. Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, we have so much stuff to just go, yeah, I don't really want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that. Did I tell you when we were interviewing about Jean Kilbourne?
Remind me.
Jean Kilbourne, back in the 60s, she had been a model for like a hot minute. And then she started pulling ads out of like newspapers and magazines that showed how sexist, how misogynistic everything was. And over the decades, I mean, she created this amazing PowerPoint. She really put the lie to you can't use a PowerPoint well, because she just is hilarious and informative. And so she has these things on YouTube called Killing Us Softly. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. And it really, boy, that broke through a lot of my niceness, I gotta tell you. Yeah, I highly recommend you go take a look at her. She's fantastic. But anyway, thank you for being here with me today. This is with us because Beth is still here. Hi, Beth. You have any questions for Robin, Miss Beth? If you do, this is the hot minute. So I hope that you can come join us tomorrow. I'll send out an email just in case you can. It would be delightful. If you can't, I understand. This is only last minute. And we are doing a spoon bending workshop on Thursday for free for the group.
Okay.
Which is going to be cool. She goes, I'm full. Right? I know. Robin's fabulous. Thank you, Miss Robin.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I will send that email. Just trying to take it all in. I know. I think Beth and my heads have exploded. So Beth, we will have a head taping later together. Okay. And so thanks again, Robin, and I'll be in touch.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.